Hello, kindergarten. Miss K is back to read you another story, and this one is called Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's written by CrockettJohnson, who's the author and the illustrator. That means he wrote the words and he drew the pictures. And this is a favorite story from when I was little because it helped me really use my imagination. I really understood how much your imagination can help you go on an adventure with just a purple crayon in your mind. Are we ready for Harold's adventure with the purple crayon? Let's begin. Harold and the Purple Crayon. And once again, they say it. Harold and the Purple Crayon by CrockettJohnson. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight, and he needed something to walk on. Do you see how he drew the moon? Now what is he drawing? He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across the field. And the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. Look, he had to climb the tree to finish drawing. Those are the little apples he was finishing. So he put The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up, thinking fast, and in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and he thought the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. What would you draw in your picnic? Would you want to see what Harold drew? Harold. There was nothing but pie. Oh, Harold. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. Wonder if there's a pumpkin pie, or a chocolate pie, a lemon pie, a lime pie, and an apple pie. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried about him eating 9 pies. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. Look at that porcupine and moose. They look very happy. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. That's a tall mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. But luckily, he kept his wits. That's like his smarts. And his purple crayon. He made a balloon, and he grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the balloon, big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows. 1 window, 2 windows, 3 windows. And he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. Oh, he made 1 more. That makes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He's trying to remember. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of lots of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. Poor Harold. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway. But Harold thanked him. So nice to say thank you. What a kind kid Harold is. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and his bed. Then suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was. When there was a moon, it was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end. What a fun adventure Harold went on. Just using his imagination. Just drawing with his purple crayon. I wonder if you have something you could draw with, and what would you draw? Where could you go on a piece of paper? Where could you go in your mind? I'd love you to think about it and then share with me if you have any ideas. Bye, class. See you soon.